Hi, this is Leigh Ambergy. I'm a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Mentor, Ohio, and thank you for joining me today. And today I want to showcase this card that I made using the Artfully layered bundle. And that in the, whoops, knocked my plate over. In the mini catalog, that's on pages 32 and 33. That's the bundle there. So we'll be using the bundle, the ribbon, the designer series paper, and the faux sea glass shapes. And all of the measurements will be at the bottom of my blog for this card, but this is the outside and that's the inside. Today's card, though, I'm going to switch it up just a little bit because this element here, that's the designer series paper. That is one of the leaves from the designer series paper. And my downline is making this card at our downline meeting. And I did not want to hack up another piece of my 12 by 12 paper. So we've got a little workaround around that that I'll be showing you. So the inks that we're using is Soft Succulent, Granny Apple Green, and Coastal Cabana. My card base is Pear Pizzazz, 5.5 by 8.5. And I'm just going to fold that in the center and burnish with my bone folder. And then I have my designer series paper. And then we will be, oh, I didn't cut my Coastal Cabana piece. Let me grab, I am so sorry. I thought I had everything out for this. Okay, here's my Coastal Cabana. And what size do I need? Just bear with me. Got that trimmed down. So I try to think I have everything pre-cut, and then that's a little snafu-y. So then we have the Coastal Cabana and my layer of white. We'll be doing some stamping is there. And then we have the white, basic white for the inside, and this is the back side. Think of this one or another one, but anyway, we'll use that for the element inside. So what I want to do is stamp, I guess, my leaf, my fern. There's a little, I didn't cut this straight. Let's see if I can just trim that. It's got like a little tiny tail. No one's going to notice it but me, but you all know how that goes. So this leaf or fern is going to get, stamp is going to get inked up in Granny Apple Green. I'm just going to stamp it right about there. It looks like I need to re-ink that pad. So I don't forget to do that. Pulling my re-inker out to set on top of it so I know to do that. Next, I am going to get my, done with that, I'm going to get my Soft Succulent. Like I said, since I did not want to hack up another piece of designer series paper, I'm going to use the leaf stamp and stamp that on Soft Succulent. I probably, because that'd be die, that will die cut, I probably could have just used this, but it wouldn't have had any type of element on it, and that, yeah, I didn't like that. And where's my scrap piece of white? And my greeting. My greeting, hey there, is going to be in Coastal Cabana. And this is just a scrap piece of white I pulled out, and that's going to get die cut. And I need to clean this stamp off because I want to stamp that in Coastal Cabana also. I'm just pull out my chamois. Make sure it's clean. And this is 4 by 5 1/4, and I'm just going to stamp this on the bottom corner. And we'll add the element to that. Close up all my ink pads before I stick my fingers in them. And this, I wanted to make sure that this is dry because I want to use, on this I use the Time Worn Type embossing folder. So I wanted to make sure that was dry before I put that inside of the folder. And I do have my Stampin' cut and emboss off to the side here. So I'm going to run that through. So there's that. Let me get that out of the way. That out of the way. Get my plates back in to do my die cutting. So we are going to die cut this. And my greeting with the layering circle dies. I'll run that through and hopefully not knock anything off of my work area. So my Stampin' cut is usually on its own separate little table because my work desk here is usually a disaster. So I have that and that. Okay, I can get this out of the way. Okie dokies. I have already cut these elements, die cut these elements out, and that was Greeny Apple Green and Coastal Cabana. So now is just getting pieces, parts put together. So I get my tape runner. Just wherever you want to put this, however you want to put it. Like I said, this one was from the Designer Series paper, and my liquid adhesive. And I am not going to cover all of this, just certain areas, just enough for it to stick down. And this does not really line up perfect, and you can pull the little stem off at the bottom or cover it up with your greeting. The little stem just happens to go in the opposite direction, and I just sort of want to get that on there close enough. And we're going to see what we can do because I forgot to put my, I forgot to put my Greeny Apple Green die cut down first. Getting ahead of myself. So I can just slide that underneath. Okay, that's all down. Don't need my Tombow. So I am going to put my adhesive on the back of the basic white panel. this centered onto the Coastal Cabana, and the Coastal Cabana is just cut 1/8 of an inch larger than my basic white here, and the basic white was 3 1/4 by 5 1/2. Now this I want on dimensionals. Okay. Oh, I do need my, every time I say I don't need my Tombow, I do. I want to get, you could use your tape runner for the strip we're putting on the inside, but I'm going to use the Tombow because I don't always get that lined up. And this will give me just a little bit more, as we say, wiggle room to get this going. So I kind of smear it down, and then I stand this up on its side to at least try to make sure I've got one edge lined up the way it's supposed to go. So here we go. We're going to assemble this. So the DSP is going down onto my Pear Pizzazz card base. Okay. And then comes the fun part of removing the backing to the dimensionals. Again, sometimes it's like watching paint dry. Okay. Center this. Okay, my ribbon. And the ribbon for this is the white frayed ribbon. And I know I'm going to end up trimming that. And I am just going to put some adhesive on the back of the ribbon. It's going to go right there. Now for this, the majority of this is on that ribbon. And I want to make sure that the greeting doesn't come off. And yes, I could use dimensionals, but I've already used dimensionals on this panel. And I really don't want to add any more bulk for mailing and postage reasons. So I am applying tear and tape to the back of my greeting, just because I want to make sure that it sticks to that ribbon and whatever other little areas are not on the ribbon. So I have my tear and tape on there. Remove the backing with take your pick tool or your paper piercer. I keep my take your pick tool over by my Stampin' Cut with the piercer on one end and the brush on the other end. So that way it's a 2-for-1 over there. Okay, and I'm going to apply my greeting. Make sure it's nice and secure. And I want to trim my ribbon. So there we go. And let's see. We put my inside my card. Put this on the inside of the card. And last but not least, we are going to add our faux sea glass to this. So, you guys always know, this drives me crazy. I kind of like that there. So that's it. Not a difficult card to make. It's just got pieces parts to it. It's just got, you know, the multiple layers. And again, stamping on the basic white and then running that through the embossing folder and then adding your accent elements. So again, either fussy cut from your designer series paper or use the stamp and the die with the bundle and get your leaf that way. But there we go. I hope you've enjoyed today's video. Thank you so much for stopping by. Goodbye.